You know that feeling when you're on a winding mountain road? You look out the window and you just think, how on earth did they build this? Well, today, we're diving into exactly that. The unseen science and the incredible engineering it takes to carve a road through some of the toughest environments on Earth.
And that's not just some idle question. For engineers in a place like Nepal, with the Himalayas as their backyard, this is the problem they have to solve every single day. It's a constant battle against gravity, against geology, against the weather itself. And to win that battle, you need a rulebook, a very detailed one.
And that rulebook has a name, the Nepal Road Standard 2070. The best way to think of it is like the DNA for every single major road in the country. It's this huge, comprehensive guide that's all about bringing order and safety to a task that is, well, monumental.
You gotta understand, before this thing existed, road building could be, let's just say, a bit chaotic. Different projects, different rules. You'd end up with this patchwork of roads that was an absolute nightmare to maintain and keep safe. So this standard, it's all about getting everyone on the same page, working from the exact same blueprint.
So before a single shovel even touches the dirt, every road gets an identity. It's not just a slab of asphalt. It gets classified by how important it is for the country, what kind of terrain it has to cross, and, get this, how much traffic they think it's going to have 20 years from now.
And here's the cool part. That identity isn't set in stone. It actually adapts. So a major national highway on the flat, open plains, that might be designed for high speeds. But when that exact same highway starts winding its way up into the mountains, its class changes. The design has to change with it, deliberately putting safety way ahead of speed.
Okay, so how do you figure out how wide to make the road? I mean, you can't just count cars, right? A motorcycle takes up way less space than a giant bus. So engineers came up with this really clever system called the Passenger Car Unit, or PCU. It's basically the universal currency for traffic, where one regular car equals one PCU.
And here's how that currency breaks down. A big bus or a truck, that's worth 3 PCUs. A little motorcycle is just half a PCU. So you add up all these units for the expected traffic, and now you have a real, accurate picture of the load on the road. And that's what tells you if you need 2 lanes or maybe even 4.
All right, now for the really dramatic stuff. Taming the physics of a turn. This is where the engineering gets intense, fighting back against the invisible forces that are literally trying to fling a car right off the side of the road.
Driving on a straight road is simple enough. But the second you steer into a curve, this invisible force, centrifugal force, just takes over. You know that feeling that keeps water in a bucket when you swing it around your head? That's the one. And on a road, it's constantly trying to push you to the outside of that turn.
So how do you fight it? Well, engineers have a whole toolkit. First, they bank the road. That's called super elevation. It's kind of like a racetrack turn. Then they use these things called transition curves to gently ease you into the bend, so it doesn't feel so sudden. And they even add extra widening, giving bigger trucks more space to make the turn without their back wheels cutting the corner.
Okay, so that handles the side-to-side curves, but what about going up and down? We've all had that feeling, right? You're driving up a steep hill and you have absolutely no idea what's waiting for you just over the crest. It could be anything. This question is something that keeps road engineers up at night.
And the answer has a pretty serious name: stopping sight distance. And this is, no joke, a matter of life and death. The standard says that the shape of every single hill has to be perfectly calculated so that a driver, with their eyes at about 1.2 meters high, can see a small 15-centimeter object on the road far enough ahead to slam on the brakes and come to a complete, safe stop.
So what about the most extreme turn you can imagine? A true hairpin bend. What do you think the absolute maximum speed is that engineers can design for? It's just 20 kilometers per hour. That's it, a hard limit. And it's the perfect example of engineers choosing safety over speed every single time.
So, we've covered the big, sweeping geometry of the road. But a safe road is also about all the little things, the unsung heroes on the roadside that you might not even notice. But trust me, every single one of them is meticulously planned.
It's a whole ecosystem of safety. You've got shoulders for breakdowns, side drains to keep water from washing away the road's foundation, guardrails, which, can save your life, bus laybys for safe stops, and footpaths to protect pedestrians. Every single piece is there for a very specific reason.
And the rules can get incredibly precise. For instance, for any truck or bus to pass safely under a bridge, there has to be a minimum vertical clearance of 5 meters. That seems pretty straightforward. But what happens when something has to go over the road?
Check this out. If a high-voltage power line crosses that same road, the required clearance skyrockets to 16 meters. That is more than 3 times higher. It's just an amazing reminder that engineers are juggling everything from the height of a bus to the safety of the entire national power grid.
And this all brings us to one last, really crucial point. Building a road, especially in a place with so much natural beauty, isn't just about plugging numbers into a formula. It's about blending that science with a real sense of art.
You would think a technical engineering manual would be, well, pretty dry reading. But listen to this. This is a direct quote from the standard. The goal is to create a flowing line with a natural and smooth appearance on the land and a sensuous, rhythmic continuity for the driver. Did you hear that? Sensuous. It's an official design goal to make the road feel good to drive and look like it belongs there.
So when you really look at it, a great road isn't just a strip of pavement at all. It's a carefully choreographed dance. Physics is providing the music, safety is choreographing all the steps, and the landscape itself is the stage.
So the next time you're on any road, I don't care if it's a mountain pass or a city street, just take a second. Look at the curves, the slopes, all the little details. Because hidden in that asphalt is this remarkable story of human ingenuity. And if this is the science that goes into just one road, it really makes you wonder, what does it truly take to connect our entire world?